Hello, my name is Prince Kumar Yadav. I am studying at the Ravensman University, MSc Project Management. Today, I am going to reflect my learning journey through the principle of project management model. I will talk about the what I learned, the challenges I face, how I deal with them, and how this experience helped me to grow as a future project manager. I will not describe my project plans, but instead I will reflect on my personal experience of designing and managing the charity project and how it helped me understand the project management in the practice. I will use the ZIP's reflective cycles and the collapse learning cycles to instruct my reflection. Now I'm going to explain my experience and a feeling. At the beginning of the model, I feel quite confident because I thought project management was mostly about creating and scheduling and making sure tasks were completed on a time. However, when I start working on the charity project, I quickly realized that project management is a much more complex than that. I felt overwhelmed at the first by the number of the things I had to consider: risks, cost, stakeholder, quality, and communication. All the same time, I struggle to connect the theory for the lectures with the real decisions in my project. For example, I know what a risk register was in a theory, but I found it difficult to decide which risks were truly important and how serious I should take them. Over time, as I used the tools more, I started to feel more confident and organized. I realized that these tools were not just academic requirements but practical ways to reduce uncertainty and support better decision. Now I'm going to explain what I learned from the designing in the project. One important things I learned is the project are not only the technical systems but also the social systems. I realized that even if a plan looks perfect on a paper, I can still fail if the peoples are not engaged, motivated, or informed. I also realized that many decisions in projects are made with the incomplete information. I often felt unanswered when estimating the cost, predicting risks, or planning resources because I could not be the 100% certain. This taught me that good project management is not about avoiding the uncertainty but about managing it in a structured and thoughtful way. This experience helped me to develop a more realistic and flexible mindset. Now I'm going to explain about the key learning from the model. One of my biggest learning was the project management is a continuous learning process. I learned the planning, monitoring, and the reflection are not a separate steps but are connected. Now I'm going to explain. I learned how to break the complex problem into the smaller parts, analyze risks and prioritize, use performance indicators to evaluate progress, reflect on outcomes to improve future decisions. This helps me to move from a task focused mindset to a learning focused mindset. Now I'm going to explain what I challenges faced during the making the project. One challenge that I struggle with a risk planning. At the first, I underestimated the risks and treated them as an unlikely problem. Later, I realized that ignoring risks could seriously damage the project. This made more coordination and proactive. Another challenge was cost estimations. I found it difficult to decide how much things would realistically cost and how much contingency I should include. This teach me that the financial planning requires judgment, not a just calculation. I also struggle with the balancing the details and the flexibility. I want to plan everything perfectly, but I realized that too much details made the project rigid. I learned that the good planning should guide action, not restrict it. Now I'm going to explain how I develop problem solving skill. Using the collapse learning cycle, I experience the full learning processes. I had real experiences when designing the project. I reflect on what worked and what did not. I connected this to the theory and then I applied improvement. This helped me become more confident in solving problem, making decision and adapting when things change. Now I'm going to explain about my personal growth. My personal growth, I feel that I have grown in several ways. I become more organized and structured in how I approach tasks. I become more comfortable with the uncertainty instead of the feeling anxious about it. I become more confident in my ability to manage complexity and explain my decision clearly. I now feel more preparedness to manage projects in both academic and professional settings. I now feel the more prepared and managing the process in the both academic and professional setting. Now I'm going to explain about the conclusion. In conclusion, this model helped me to change how I see project management. I now see it not only as a technical process but as a reflective and a human centered discipline. Designing the charity project helped me develop problem solving, decision making, and reflective skills that will be valuable in my future career. Mostly important, I learned that making mistake is a part of the learning, and the reflection is what turns experience in the improvement.